And I'd like to welcome Emily White to Hope in Action. Thank you for being with us.
And thank you for having me.
You are incredible. Look at you.
Getting
your Juris Doctorate from Michigan State University and now studying for the bar exam.
For certain.
That
it's a long journey, but hopefully we'll see it cusp at the end of this,
And that's really why you're here today. I did want to celebrate that huge achievement that you recently had, but also want to thank you for the volunteerism that you have for NAMI. And volunteering is really a big part of your life, isn't it?
It is. I remember when I had one of my breaks, my first break in graduate school, and I reached out to Ellen Sachs, who's this really prominent mental health advocate for people with psychosis, and she was kind enough to let me have a conversation with her over the phone. And I remember she said that advocacy could be another dimension to being sick or to having a disorder, and I really do find it to be a really fulfilling part of my, human experience being a little different and stuff. I think it really helps people to, find joy in inspiring others and finding a lot of solidarity with other people, as opposed to, I think it's easy when you have something like psychosis to be in the closet or sort of shameful about it. And I think this brings solidarity instead of secrecy. Advocacy does.
Right, and that's what we're talking about this month, right?
Yeah.
Disability awareness, and you believe in peer to peer, talking to someone else
absolutely.
that has been through what you have been through, and for them to see you come through all of this and where you are, and still in it, right? So tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So I would say definitely there's some peer to peer people that I've really looked up to in my personal journey, and so I think that it's likely that other people also look up to peers in their individual journeys. I think about Jeremy Hall is a well-known, NAMI Lansing, NAMI award winner from the state of Michigan, peer advocate, and, thinking about how, intense his journey has been and all the different levels you can relate to people on, being a veteran and stuff like that. Just so many different ways you can connect with a person and inspire them to move forward with their life instead of stay sort of stuck in the past. And I think about a peer advocate I had in college, Dennis, and he just really helped me, envision what's it like to be 40 and sick, because when it's when you're young, you don't look past 25. You're I can't imagine doing this for another 25 years, and that really putting a new lens on things that, you can continue, you can get married, you can, he has kids. I don't know if I'll have kids. I have a dog, but, that you can sort of, have a career, you can do whatever you want. And, that is all possible still while still being sick, while still experiencing relapse, while still experiencing all the hardship of having a disorder.
But that gave you hope, right? Talking to someone that really helped bring that kind of, like you said, change the lens, open your eyes to what it can be like. It gave you hope.
I would say that it definitely did. It just definitely made it possible to envision a future. I think when people have hope, we think about envisioning a future that's a little bit better than our present. And so, at least that gave me the prospects of envisioning a future where I'm older, I'm accomplished, I have a family, I have all the things I want, even though I don't have the wellness that maybe I thought was once mine, back in the day. And so it's life can adapt and move and change and still be beautiful, even if it's different than what we envisioned.
That's awesome. And what would you say to someone that maybe is struggling right now and is afraid, like you said, I know, to kind of keep it quiet, but needs to advocate for themselves and maybe to step out a little bit?
I would definitely say that it's always important, especially if it's a psychosis situation, to have trusted people that you can depend on to navigate the path forward, whether that includes hospitalization or what that includes. I think about my husband Adam, who's my everything, him and my little chihuahua, and Adam definitely keeps me accountable and keeps me in line when I need to seek treatment, when I what applauds me is my biggest cheerleader when I'm doing well, but also, holds me accountable for when I'm not doing well. And so I think sometimes with disorders that tend to have a lack of insight, you really need to rely on those trusted mom, dad, mother-in-law, whoever it is that, can really help you, tether back to reality. I think that that's really important, because there's at times where I would say I'm a practiced person, and I still lose like insight at times of crisis, and so it's always just important to lean on people when you can.
What would you say to the general community about when you meet someone, you not necessarily know where they are, what they've been through? We talk a lot about patience and kindness, just to everyone.
I would say that, everyone needs a little bit of grace. I think that, anyone, even if you're the best person ever and you have the easiest life and you've had a great day, you still need grace. Everyone needs grace. And so I think that just being as open to new experiences and understanding, I think it's something like I think about like my parents, let's say, like if they hadn't had me, like, and our experiences, they probably wouldn't be very open to like knowing someone with a severe mental illness or something like that. But, through like being exposed to someone and learning that there's more to someone than just being sick, there's also a lot of beauty and depth and insight and everything else that comes along with being, an intricate person. And I would just say that, being graceful and having an openness to experience and being kind, always just being kind. I think kindness goes a long way. And, especially when you don't know in what phase someone is in, kindness makes the world go around.
It does. Well, good luck on the bar exam.
Oh, thank you. I'll take all the luck I can get.
Keep shining your light.
I'll try my best.
Thank you for being
Thank you.
here.